Welcome to the Ann Lynn Show. Today we're meeting Dave of Dave's Gaming Cave. And now, here are Ann and Lynn. Hi, Lynn.
Well, hi, Ann. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. You ready?
All right, I'm ready. Are you ready? Here we go. Coffee clink. Woo! Coffee clink. And we're blessed, aren't we? Are we blessed?
We sure are. We're double blessed. Yours, and mine.
And yes, we are double blessed. And today we have a special guest, don't we?
We sure do. We're so excited to welcome our special guest.
I wonder who he could be. I wonder who he could be.
The only.
My husband.
And my brother-in-law.
Yeah. And he has started his own YouTube channel. And yes, we are featuring him on our show today. And here he comes. Here he comes. There's Dave. Hello.
Welcome.
Hello. We have Dave of Dave's Gaming Caves. And so, Dave, you're just going to have to tell us about your channel. You started your own channel. I know you're really excited about it. I'm really excited about it because Lynn and I have been doing our YouTube channel for a couple years, and I think it's rubbed off on you finally.
I think, yeah.
And I couldn't be more prouder. And I wanted you to share your channel with everybody because this is a whole community of gamers that you have become involved with now. We have a community of people that we're involved with our channel. And so go ahead and tell us about yourself and to let the other people know who you are and what's going on and just go ahead.
So I grew up playing games, with the family, of course, mom and dad and my brother and my sister. And then, this was a long time before we had computer games and video games and all those. So we had board games on Friday night or Saturday night that we would play on the weekends. So we always did that. And then, growing up, Dad and I started playing war games. So a lot from Avalon Hill. That's a company that's not around anymore. But we did a lot. That's where I learned to play war games. So strategy type games. And then, of course, you get older, you move away from home, and then you don't have a person to play those kind of games with. Usually your wife, and they're not that interested in a war game too much. So, they don't have
not war games.
Yeah, or they don't have the aggressive nature sometimes it takes, to win a game like that, because you kind of have to be that way a little bit in your strategy thinking. So.
Wait a minute. Are you saying I can't strategize? I can strategize. I got you, didn't I? That took a little strategy.
Oh.
So
thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn.
So in the 90s, computers were starting to come on strong, and then some of the companies were starting to develop war games and things with an artificial intelligence in them on the computer. So that kind of bridged that gap a little bit. And there was also in the late 80s and 90s, some of the game companies like Avalon Hill, they started making solitaire board games. But the rules in them were difficult, to say the least, a lot of times, or very complex. And you spent hours reading rule books, and they could have been 80 pages of nothing but text and a few pictures, and made them really difficult to do. So, but it's all we had, and so we learned those kinds of games. So, you know, life goes on, you continue to do things, but there was always that gap. So about, I'd say around 2015, I stumbled on to a series of games from a company called Dan Verson Games.
What is it now?
Dan Verson Games, DVG. And they have a series, they call them the Leader series, and that's what I started playing. They also have another series called Warfighter, which they have a modern day and they have a World War II version. And the World War II version is the one that I like, so I picked it up also. But I was having trouble with it, and I was getting stuck on some of the rules. And what I did was I went to YouTube and I searched for that game title, and sure enough, boom, there it was. And some of these guys that had their videos, they had 1,000 views or 2,000 views on,
Right.
And they had a lot of subscribers. So I started finding some of the ones that I like, and so a lot of times before I actually bought the game, I watched the game be played. And then I was like, yeah, I like the way that one plays, so I'm going to order it. And by the time I got it, I already had an understanding of the rules and the way the game played. So I didn't have to read the rules per se. I just used them as reference then because I already had an understanding of how the game's played. And so I've been doing this now for 5 or 6 years, and I just decided that, shoot, I like doing that, and I've got enough of the games now. I'd like to kind of maybe start doing that a little bit on my own. So, and then a lot of the games that I have been out for several years already, but I've got a brand new one coming from DVG that's coming out, and I was on a website called Kickstarter where you help them. You pre-purchase the game and you get it at a discount price,
Okay.
and you get some extras with the game that they develop if they get enough people to support it, which they did. And I just got an email that's releasing should be shipping in the next few weeks. So they're actually releasing it from the printer, and it'll be coming. So that'll be a new game that I can introduce on my channel instead of the older games that I'm playing. Although, just like me, a lot of people buy the older games, they haven't played them yet. They're looking for somebody that's playing them. And sometimes it's nice to have somebody that's doing it recently as opposed to somebody that did it 6 years ago. But
Right.
the game plays the same. It doesn't matter. So it's just who you like to watch. So that's what I did. And that's how I said, I think I'll try this. And I just started shooting a couple videos and, started a simple channel of stuff that I like to do. People, if they like it, that's what I say at the end, right? If you like what I'm doing, if you like what we're doing here, then join or subscribe or give me a thumbs up. But, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. That's the way I am. If I don't like what somebody's doing, I don't watch it,
Great.
And not everybody agrees on everything that we do, but that's okay too. That's why everybody has their own opinion. So, but it doesn't keep us from watching the games and things that we like to watch. And so, that's kind of why, that's how I got going on it and got started on it. And then the last piece of it that kind of materialized was as I was doing this over the last year and a half, probably, I started finding YouTube shows from the actual game companies, or I went to their channels to went to their websites to look for the games, and then I signed up on their email list, so I'd get notices about them, and then I started getting them about play testers and things like that. So game designers need people to play their games for them to see if there are problems with them, if they're working, if you like it, if you don't like it. So one of my favorite eras is World War I aerial combat.
Oh, wow.
Like with, the Red Baron and those guys. So there's not many of those games around and there's definitely not any that are solitaire right now, although there's 2 or 3, I think, that are in the work. So I found a guy on a website called Board Game Geek, BGG. And I was looking at his game, and I was reading some of his form, and I saw where he needed playtesters. And so I just reached out to him and said, "Hey, I'd like to do that." So what they did, was they sent me a computerized version of the game on a system called Vassal, and he sends it to me. I can't publish it. I can't do anything with it. And that allows me to play the game, and sends me the rules and the tables and everything I need for it.
Mhm.
And so what I did was I made sure he was okay with it, but I record those sessions, and then I post them on my website so people can see what the game looks like. When they publish it, they'll have an idea of it. And so, and they also see the mistakes I make, the corrections that we do. Not perfect. And I misinterpreted the rules, which the designer said, "Oh, I need to clear that up because I can see how that could happen." So it helps that too. So it's all about that feedback back and forth that we say, this is, I like this, I don't like this, or I don't understand what this rule is trying to tell me to do.
You're troubleshooting it for him.
Yeah.
You're troubleshooting.
Well, and just making sure it works right, the way it's supposed to, and the way that he intended it to work. And, probably over 2 or 3 of the ones that I videoed, the first one was a major. I had to redo the whole thing because I just played it absolutely wrong. And so, but because I interpreted his rules a different way, and it's funny because when I redid that mission and played it again, I almost scored the same playing it the right way. It just goes to show it's how you interpret things. And then, but then we had a call last Sunday where we talked about some of the rules and clarifications and stuff. So, these things help him. He emailed me today. He's looking to add another set of options in it. Me and I think there's 4 or 5 other play testers. And he's looking for ideas. Do you like this? What do you think about doing this? So we've already seen feedback going back and forth between the group a little bit. So those are things that are interesting to me because you get to see something first before everybody else gets to do it.
Wow.
You're out.
Oops. I just started to say, so you went and you opened up your own channel, which is Dave's Gaming Cave. Yep. And you're just going to be out there and you're playing. And then pretty soon, the next thing you know, you're a tester for a game that's going to come out. I mean, come on now. That's really cool. People reach out in those communities. And that's why community is so important, isn't it, Ann?
Yes. And so I know, so Dave is out in his gaming cave. Is there anything you can show us that you could show us your newest game that you just received? Or is that that's different, isn't it?
That's different.
It won't be, but
you're not going to record this game, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're going to
I'll tell you why.
Oh, and you're going to do an unboxing, correct?
Yeah.
You're going to do an unboxing.
The glare's kind of bad on this. If I can get it angled right.
B-17 Leader, Flying Fortress.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
So this is from Dan Burson Games. Okay. This is a simulation of the 8th Air Force in during their bombing campaign, in World War II over Europe.
Okay.
You command the 8th Air Force, and the challenge in the game is you have bomber groups that earn experience, and you got to pick what kind of bombs you're going to drop and what targets you're going after based on the campaign mission that you're doing. And then you have to assign, and they get tired or they get depleted from losses against the Germans, and you have to rest them. And then do you have enough planes, and do you have the range, and all those things, and the fighter escort, and all those things go into it. So that's what I'm currently shooting now, is just a 4-week, which is one game turn is a week. So it's not like 4 weeks worth, like 28 days of stuff. It represents that, but that's what I'm shooting right now. I'll probably wrap it up tonight or tomorrow. And then what Ann was talking about was sometimes I'm a solitaire gamer, but I'm not 100% war gamer all the time. So sometimes we look for different things. So I bought this game, Thunder Alley, and it's based on NASCAR, but it's not a NASCAR licensed game, so you don't get any of the drivers' names or anything like that. The tracks are shaped like NASCAR. They're very recognizable, but they're not named for any of the NASCAR tracks. So when I saw it, and I thought about when Lynn and Cameraman come to visit, then we have something. This game's made for 2 to 7 people.
Wow. Well, thank you, Dave. That's going to be exciting.
So, let me show you.
So we're going to have an unboxing, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're going to unbox a game.
I'll do the unboxing this weekend, but I went on to Board Game Geek and started researching the game like I do, and looking through their forums and their files, because people download things that sometimes can help make the game play better. And one of the things I found is a way to play that solitaire. So it's an artificial intelligence that adds on to the game to control the other teams, because this is a team game. It's not who wins the race, it's whose team scores the most points at the end of the race. So Anne could finish first, but if I finish second, third, and fourth, I'll score more points than she did. And I would actually win the game. So that's what you're trying to do. So I went on and I found, again, I'm getting a lot of glare, but I found these cards, and they're color coded, purples and greens and blues and yellows. This is the team colors. And actually you use this even if you only have, let's say, 4 people and we want all 7 teams to race. The AI controls those other teams with us. So if Ann and I play, we can have 5 AIs if we want, or 3 AIs against the 2 of us, and it gets the field filled up a little bit. So there's ways to play these games sometimes. You just got to go kind of do a little research and find, who's written something, who's taken the time to do it. And I find a lot of add-ons for these games on that site. Like the B-17 game, I found a great spreadsheet that keeps track of all the points and all the promotions and everything that goes on. So I play that game with that spreadsheet. It makes it a lot easier than writing it all on the paper all the time and racing and everything else. So plus Absolutely. I say paper.
So we thought that, we do a lot of our shows directed at the ladies. Yeah. And so this show, I think, could be for ladies, but for gentlemen for sure. If you're looking, it's a great little hobby.
It's for sure. It's not a man's only hobby. That's for sure. I mean, my son's fiance, she plays with him. She plays the war games with him and stuff. And I've known there's plenty of people and plenty of women that do that. So not just like there's some men that won't play war games because they're not interested. You have to have an interest in that.
Right. And you have
for me, it's a history interest.
So that's what I was going to say. History. You enjoy history.
I read, most of the books I read are on World War I or World War II, Vietnam, somewhere in that era with the military. So, and Ann knows because I drag her over there every once in a while. I love to go to the Air Force Museum in Dayton, Ohio, because it's got all the aircraft there that I love and my dad loved. So, if I get a chance to go there, that's where I like to go spend a day. That's my day. So sometimes we get a chance to do that. So for me, it's a history lesson too. So you don't replay history sometimes, and you don't really recreate it, but you get into that. If you're at least a little familiar with it, then you kind of understand what's going on and what the goal of the game is a little bit. And most of the designers that I've seen and the games that I've seen, they've done their research for history. It's not just a bunch of made up stuff. They went in and they've got they've got the aircraft right, the time periods right, the missions right, those things.
Wow.
So yeah, and we have been to the in Arizona, the aircraft
Graveyard.
graveyard. Yeah,
Right.
they're at the base there in Tucson, and
Right.
you know, I
I
mean,
think it
so
was
we,
Penamoon, wasn't it?
huh?
Penamoon, wasn't that it? Penamoon Air Base out there.
You know, it has escaped my
know.
memory right now.
Yeah,
But
Mhm.
but I know I've seen a lot of aircraft.
yeah,
I've seen a lot of airplanes, but you know, that is our history.
yeah.
And so these guys have turned history into games that you
Right.
can play by yourself and
Mhm.
make you think, do a lot of, you have to really, like you said, you do have to strategize and think these things out, don't you?
You do, and you know, with like the DVG games or GMT makes I like their submarine game, you know, and Legion, they do another World War II air war game that's on a whole nother level than this one. So it's where you're in the individual bomber and you have your crew with you and you're trying to survive 25 or 30 missions and you go on every one of those missions. So what happens to you is you really get involved with your crew and you don't want them to get killed. You don't want the plane to get shot down. And you've also started to figure out why it was so hard to survive 25 missions. You know, that's what the Memphis Belle did, was the first one to make it, you know, in 1943. And you play this game and you can see why that was such a miracle that they were able to do that, because, you know, the game replicates a lot of things that can happen to you, you know, from just getting shot at and maybe somebody wounded to they hit the bomb bay and all the bombs explode, and that's the end of that game. So
so it can be a short game if you don't
it can be a
strategize.
short game if the dice gods are not on your side. That
Right.
I say that a lot of times when I'm playing the play testing. You know, it's like the dice gods hate me today or something. You know, they just I can't get a decent roll. Then all of a sudden it changes, and all of a sudden you get on a string of good rolls, and you score a lot of points, and all of a sudden, hey, this is, you got to take the good and the bad. So, you know, same thing happens in the leader games. You're developing pilots, and they get promoted as they go on missions, and they gain experience, and then you get them promoted, and their skills get better. And you don't want those guys you don't want to lose them because they're what's going to help you win the game. So you really get attached to these things, you know, when you're playing them, that you don't want something bad to happen to them. So I think in these games, you know, it's more on an individual level a lot of times than the old board games that were division sized or corps sized armies, and you just had a counter that represented, you know, 200 men, you know, going into battle. That's not the same as when you have a squad of guys like in Warfighter. You got 4 or 5 of your guys and you're trying to fight through this objective. So, you know, you really kind of, you don't do silly things to get them killed. So.
No, we hope not.
That's right. And it's sure good for your strategy in life. It's good for strategizing. It's good for, it keeps your memory alert, and it keeps your brain active. And we all need that. Everyone needs to be, you need to be, you know, stimulated in your thinking, in your reasoning. Yes.
So
and it can be any game. It doesn't have to be a war game.
That's right.
It's like the racing game. You know, Ann and I are going to get warmed up before Lynn gets here.
Oh boy, okay.
So we're already practiced, but the thing is, you know, the other thing is it's teachable. So, you know, you bring somebody in, somebody's got to have some experience playing it, or you make all kinds of mistakes. But if somebody knows how to play it already, at least then you can guide everybody and get them familiar with it.
Right. That's right. And it's not fun when you just open up one and now everyone's like, how do we play? I don't know. Right. So you're going through lots of time just trying to figure out
Right.
So it's nice to prep. So
Yeah.
prepping's good. Hey, prepping's good.
We just did a show on prepping. But game playing can be, can be beneficial. It keeps, like you said, keeps your mind going, gives you, and it does. Everybody needs a hobby. Everybody needs to have something, to do, because, and so anyhow, I'm just proud of you, honey.
I
Yeah.
So
am
we
too.
And the other thing with these games is they're replayable. So
oh yes, because it
it's
would
not like
right.
the game from the 80s called Ambush that was put out. It was a solitaire game, and it used a sequence of events that happened based on what counter you moved into what square. But once you played it once, you knew where the enemy was. So the replayability wasn't very high once you learned that game. The first time it's great because you don't know. But after that, I know those guys are up there, and then your strategy automatically changes. How do I avoid them, or how do I get a better angle on those guys? In these games, things happen because of they're card based or they're dice based, and in a lot of cases both. So random events happen, and then card events happen, and you don't have control over them. And because they're random, they happen in different orders or at different times, and it changes everything. So the replayability is there for you too. So, and that's another thing. These games aren't cheap. I'm not going to say how much because somebody will moan about it, but they're they're as expensive or more expensive than a brand new video game that comes out because you're paying for printed objects and hard objects, right? Game boards, counters, and rule books and things like that, as opposed to computer programming and things that go into video games.
Well, anyhow, I just want to say again that, I am proud of you because you've just taken the reins and you've just done great. And, we want to promote new channels on our channel, all kinds of channels, don't we, Lynn?
We sure do. We absolutely do. And I've, Dave's gaming channel is Gaming Cave.
Cave, yeah.
Well, it's a game cave channel. That's a mouthful. But it'd be good if they would subscribe.
Yeah.
We might have a lot of gamers out there that we just don't know about.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So you all hop on over to Dave's Gaming Cave over there on YouTube and follow his channel if you are into gaming, and hang out with him. And so anyhow, honey, we're just going to say goodbye.
Okay.
Do you have anything? You're welcome. Do you have anything you'd like to say before you go?
Nope. Just thanks for having me. And, anybody that's interested in seeing what I'm doing, just jump over there to the Gaming Cave, and check out. I usually play, several missions of a game so that, you get a feel for what's happening with it. So, you don't have to watch every one of them, but if you kind of get watching it, sometimes you want to see how it ends. That's the way I am when I watch somebody's. I watch the first one. If I liked it, then I want to see how they finished out. Yeah. So, I'm new to it. I've only been doing it for a couple months now. So there's not a lot there yet, but I just keep adding to it. And they do have the play test going on if you're interested in a new game that's going to be coming out sometime in the near future, we hope.
Great.
Wonderful. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you. And we always send our guest out with granny kisses, don't we, Lynn?
Lord. Yes, granny kisses. I know. Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay, ready. Here we go. Mwah. Mwah. You got to catch them.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll see you later.
Okay.
And I will see you soon.
Bye.
Yes.
Wow, Ann. I'm so proud of your husband.
I know, I am too. And he's just taken to it like a duck to water. And
Isn't that something?
yeah, he's learned the the software already that I, had to struggle to learn on my own.
Right.
And so there's a lot of things I can help him with, which I
Yeah.
like that too. And so we just have something to do now in common. So I do like that. But yeah, he's enjoying it. And so I'm sure that there are gamers out there and fellas out there and ladies that would enjoy.
That's
Sure.
right.
Just hop on
And,
over and check it out.
Well, and I'm excited that when I do get to see you in person, that that we have a new game that we're going to be playing, because we always play games, don't we?
We do. We actually bought another game. Well, it was our Christmas presents to ourselves, a domino set. So we're trying to. Was it dominoes? Yeah, it was dominoes.
I think it was. It's
Yeah,
some form. It's
yeah.
a form of dominoes.
Yeah, and it's it's on the tip of my tongue.
I know. But anyway, we're going to play it. Oh, I know what you mean. Does it start with
terrible.
a J? Does it start with a J?
I think so. Isn't that terrible?
does.
Terrible, people.
Oh no,
But
is it MAH? Mahjong? No.
Mahjong.
Oh, thank you. 'Cause,
Mahjong. Thank
actually,
you.
I'm at my computer and Cameraman's been playing that.
Oh, Mahjong, yes, but we have the tiles, and we bought a box set, and they're really cool, and so we're gonna learn to play that. So, and then we've played it, we've been playing it, and so we're gonna teach you that when we see each other.
Playing it, but I need to learn it as a board game. But I've been playing it on the computer.
Well, then you got that helps tremendously. Yeah,
Good.
That's pretty much Just keep playing it on the computer.
I will.
All right,
Well,
keep practicing.
I will. I have to become a gamer. I got to become a gamer again around you all.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't. You know what I do? I do Candy Crush all the time. I'm a Candy Crusher. I'm trying to catch up with your daughter-in-law.
Okay. Is she ahead of you again?
Oh yeah. That girl's way up there.
Has been. I know. You guys are like at what?
I'm over 5,000. I don't know where she's at, but I'm like at 5,111. I think that's where I'm at. So that's
I'm
pretty.
in the 2000s, barely in the 2000s.
Oh, hey, that's great. Well, before we go,
yes,
you see down here at the bottom. What's it say? What's it say, Lynn?
It says, "Would you like to join us on the Ann Lynn Show? Email us at lynnann1740@gmail.com. That is lynnann1740@gmail.com. And we would love to have you.
We would love to have you. So come back and join us soon at the Ann Lynn Show. Huh?
And just a minute before we clink out here. Yeah. You know what I'd like to have? I'd like to have someone that likes to cook, that wants to take us into their kitchen and talk to us about some easy to make meals. Wouldn't that be nice to learn something new about easy crock pot meals and easy meals? Wouldn't that be neat? So maybe somebody out there, maybe there's someone that's a chef or would like to share. They're just a good old down home cooking kind of a gal or guy. Wouldn't that be something?
You froze up there on me, Lynn.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm fine here, and so I'm sure it went through.
I'm sure too. Yes, I would love to have somebody with a cooking channel or that would love to cook for us. I would love that. Bring us into your kitchen and cook a recipe for us. All right?
Ooh.
Cook something sweet and delicious.
Yummy.
and we'll try to do it in our kitchen. All right, we'll try to do it too. Okay. All right. I drank all mine. Mine's all gone.
I'm drinking milk today. Sorry, it's in the afternoon, so I'm drinking milk. But we have to do granny kisses too. You ready?
Okay. Clink out. Clink, 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 clink. And thank you for joining us today.
Yes.
And we hope you'll come back. Oh, and we have gotten away from saying, hit the thumbs up, subscribe,
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Hit that notification bell.
Bing.
And share if you dare. Bye now. Mwah. Mwah. Granny kisses out. Bye now.